Hello and welcome to today's segment of 1v1 Off the Pitch. Today with us we have Julian Ringhof, number 22, the Rhinos defender. Julian actually just came off of practice, so he's going to sit down and answer a few questions for us. First, Julian, we're going to ask you, what is your favorite pregame music to get you pumped up for the games?
That's actually an interesting question because I used to listen to like hip hop and German rap music actually, but now I kind of notice that when I put too much intensity like on me before the game, it's almost too much pressure. So I kind of changed that habit, and instead of getting me pumped up, I'm listening to something more relaxing because I know as soon as I get on the field, it's gonna be extremely intense anyway. So I kind of changed that, and I'm listening to tropical house kind of music right now. Thomas Jack, Australian DJ, is my go-to guy. So that's what I listen to. That's
great to hear what like relaxes you beforehand before you get the intensity. Now, do you have any pregame meals that you always have before the games?
No, I don't always eat the same. I cook a lot, so I cook like a little more the night before, and then I just eat that same stuff before the game. Usually involves pasta, chicken, traditional German cuisine, I would say.
Oh, okay, that's very interesting. Now, do you have any, besides like the meals and the music beforehand, do you have any pregame rituals that you perform before each match?
Well, there's a few things that I do in the training room, just taking a hot bath and stretching, obviously. But then as soon as I get on the field, I have a few habits, like I always get onto the field with my left foot first, and I do this jump into the 18 before the game. You might notice that. So I have a few habits on the field.
Oh, that's fun. That's good. You have those rituals that you always have to do. Now, obviously, soccer is your professional sport right now, but do you have a favorite sport outside of soccer?
Well, I watch a lot of sports actually, and I used to play a lot of tennis until I was like 16. I was doing 50% tennis, 50% soccer, and I was pretty good at tennis, and then I had to make the decision, so tennis is definitely one of the sports that I still like to do by myself. I started to play golf now since I'm in the US, so I've been watching the US Open last weekend, for example, but in general I watch a lot of sports. Yeah.
That's great. That's great that you keep the second sport still involved in your life. Now, you said that you played tennis growing up and you grew up in Germany, if we have that correctly. We hear that you went to University of San Diego. And could you tell us a little bit about your experience off the field? Obviously, you played soccer going through college, but we hear that you went to school for engineering. So could you tell us a little bit about your engineering side? Because that's something not a lot of players probably know about.
Well, I have to say I was very fortunate with the University of San Diego. I loved it there. I think it couldn't have been any better college experience. It's a great school to go to, and then obviously the mechanical engineering that I did. When I first picked up the engineering as a major, I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, but for some reason, I really got into it. I had a lot of good professors, and that's definitely something I want to stay connected to, because eventually when my soccer career is over, I want to do something in the engineering world. And yeah, for me, it's just nice to learn how to explain things around me, and that's why I find engineering so interesting, because it gives me those explanations.
So if you weren't obviously playing professional soccer after graduation, then anything with engineering is what you'd be going into, you're saying?
Yeah, definitely. I'm actually thinking about going to grad school eventually, because I really like my major, and I feel I want to do something in that field.
Thank you, Julian, for being with us today and joining us for 1v1 Off the Pitch. You can catch Julian and the rest of the Rhinos team at any of the home games this season at Salem Stadium. For tickets, just call up the box office at 585-454-KICK. And we'll see you next time on 1v1 Off the Pitch.